Hello guys, so this week's video is actually going to be a Draw This Again challenge. Now I've been getting comments asking me to revisit the History Project series, which is a series of drawings I did back in 2012, and I said I was going to redraw them in 2015. I only got through 2 of them, so I'm picking another one, and this is the one I've picked. So first things first, you can actually see that I'm sketching traditionally. This is not going to last very long, by the way. Basically, I sketch traditionally a lot more free than I do when I sketch digitally. So I really wanted that sense of like dynamic poses. So that's why I decided to sketch it traditionally. I did 3 poses for the sketching traditionally part because I wasn't convinced about the original pose, so I sketched out the original composition and something was just off about it. I liked it, but it was okay. It was a bit meh. I didn't really like it. Sketched it again from a front perspective. I was more convinced of this and I was going to go with this composition, but I thought, let's push it even further. Let's actually push this composition to a point where it's a lot more dynamic and it has a lot more atmosphere. So the thing that most redraws or Draw This Again challenges kind of suffer from is composition. Most people keep the exact same composition as they do in their old piece, which I don't know why that should be a thing, because surely you can improve on the composition, your skill has improved. So it would have made more sense, chronologically speaking, to actually do ancient Greece as the next point in time. But I decided against that. I kind of wanted to just go with what I wanted to do, and I chose the Tudor period. The Tudor period is my favourite part of British history. It's always been a personal favourite of mine and my sister's. It's something me and my sister both share as our favourite. So the pose sketch was done traditionally. The base sketch of what I was going to line work was actually done digitally, and you can see me doing it now. And I had a real issue because the dress is actually a full-length dress. It's supposed to be, because that was the era and that was like the style of the time. But when you're doing a pose that dynamic with that kind of dress, it's not easy. It really isn't. And also the headdress also gave me issue as well, because sometimes it's actually called a hood. I think it's actually more of a hood than a headdress. And sometimes the ladies of the era would not have their hair showing, so there would be a cloth extending from that headdress. It was really difficult because I was trying to add as much detail as I could, but I knew the detail would be more so in the texture rather than in the dress itself. You can currently see me doing the line art. Now, people have asked me in the past what software I use to do my digital painting and my digital art, and I usually use Paint-Sci. I have started to go into Photoshop, but I'm still on Paint-Sci at the moment. The one thing I do like about Paint-Sci is you can actually have multiple windows open at once, and this is great, especially when I'm live streaming, because people keep asking me what I'm drawing, and I can actually just have a full image just up on the screen so people can see it. It's also really handy for me so I can see the full image on the side. So for those people wondering how I do that, you go to View and New in the Paint-Sci settings. It's just a really incredibly helpful feature, and I feel like it will help you guys as well. I also got asked about my line work settings as well, and I'm really happy to give them out. Most people are also very shocked I use a stabilizer of 3. Most people I know use stabilizers higher than 5. So to say I use a stabilizer of 3, it makes me kind of happy. That's actually the default stabilizer, and I just got used to that one over time. I actually will have my line work settings up on the screen right now. You can take a screenshot and use them if you like. It's fine. Go ahead. Now we're going into colour, and I will say that the originals were actually done with a mouse. Now, up till about midway through 2014, all of my digital art from about 2010, 2011, that sort of time, had been with a mouse. So only around mid 2014, I actually decided, you know what? Graphics tablets are the way to go. So for most of my digital art experience, most of it has been through a mouse. And it's really interesting to actually see that. The fact that I actually had semi-decent skill with a mouse back then was just, it was applaudable. I actually have a little bit of pride, even though most of it is cringe, I have a little bit of pride in myself for actually using a mouse for that long, because I was that stubborn to move over to a graphics tablet. So one of the many regrets I have about my digital art over the years has just been shading in black. Don't do it. Don't do it. It doesn't look realistic. It doesn't look good. It's a very beginner-esque kind of mistake to make, and I was doing it for so long. I think I stopped doing it, I think, at the beginning of 2016. It's gotta be that long. Why did I do that for that long? I don't know. You can actually see a texture on the screen, and basically that texture was from my college days. My tutor had actually got one of those paper patterns packs that you can buy from the shops, and she scanned them in and enhanced them, and she actually just gave it to her students, and I've had that, I think, since 2015, very early, either that or very end of 2014. So I've had it for a while and I've been meaning to use it, so I thought that this would actually be a really good way in using it, at least with me remembering to use this. I don't have to get it off Google Images, it's more high quality and it will make my artwork look better. So you can see that I was actually using a reference image. I just got that off Google because I was just looking at it for the colours. I wasn't really in it for the textures or anything. I just wanted to colour pick from the colour palette that was on there because I really liked it. It went well with what I was thinking about, and also I really wanted more muted, toned down colours. That's also one thing I regret about my old digital art, the fact that the colours are way too oversaturated. Some people like the oversaturated colours, I don't. Not when it's like so in your face that it's blinding. So some people actually know it's an on-running gag on my redraw series of the history project that originally back in 2015 I was going to do this every single month. Did it happen? No. The reason why is because I actually decided to do this and then college work picked up. It just got really intense and it just really didn't slow down from there. And then when I'd finished my college work, I'd signed up for university. So we're now on that train at the moment. I'm sorry. Now I know I should have said this earlier on in the video, but the idea of the princess and the axe kind of theme was with Henry VIII's fifth wife, Catherine Howard. Now, Catherine Howard was beheaded with the axe. She had a cousin who was actually Henry VIII's second wife, and Henry VIII's second wife, Anne Boleyn, was actually beheaded with a sword. I really wanted to do Catherine Howard because not much is really said about her, to be honest. She is probably the most overwritten of all of the wives, so I thought that that would be really cool to do. She was really young, so I wanted to do her. Another question would be, why have they all got red hair in the original series? Basically, it was all supposed to be my character Amelia as all these different periods of history. That was it. Amelia is one of my really old characters. Lastly, I actually brought the image into Photoshop so I could actually add blood splatters and stuff. And something that I didn't film, I actually just added some drop shadows and just some lighting effects in the backgrounds just so I can make it feel a bit more atmospheric and like the image would be a lot more impactful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you actually made it to the end of this video, comment terrible Tudors, because Henry VIII actually had a habit of cutting people's heads off. Give this video a like if you liked it, if you like. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!